Hey there cats, good time of the day to you and thank you for tuning into my channel.
3, 2,
Ooh, so here comes some Need for Speed High Stakes gameplay. This time I've actually decided that I should record some muscle cars running around. This custom grids here, well, this is an obvious modification, so to say. This is actually cheats. Well, you know, direct memory modification. All cheat codes on consoles, on all consoles, were pretty much that. Pretty much just direct memory modification which you applied to all consoles via specific discs or cartridges. So yeah, this is that kind of cheat. And this is not my discovery. I've did it with the help of the video from a dude on YouTube whose name is TropicsXLR. I will link his video into the description. His video works smoothly. Everything works like straight up. No need to tinker anything. Just punch in the values you need, punch the memory addresses into the cheats menu in your emulator, and there it goes. So yeah, it works perfectly. And as for the game itself, I first played it long time ago. So long time ago I cannot even remember if I was on PC or on PlayStation back when I've played this game. But what I do remember is this awesome Pontiac Firebird and the fact that you could actually upgrade your cars, and cars actually change their visual appearance, visual, whatever, you get me, I guess. So cars changed its visual appearance according to the tuning that you've applied to them. Back in the days before the underground, that was like, wow, man, totally rad. So yeah, all these years later I've decided to come back to this game one more time and finally finish it, because back in those 90s I've never quite finished the game, you know, 100%. Or was it a 2000 game? Either way, that was so long ago and I've never finished it either way. So yeah, I've decided to come back and finally walk through it. And towards the end of the game it became kinda boring, you know, I wanted some challenge. And so I made these 4 races, in which muscle cars challenge the more, so to say, sporty cars. In particular, I went against Porsche 911, I went against Diablo, I went against Ferrari 550, I believe, and I went against Diablo, Porsche. I went against something else. Oh yeah, Skyline, of course, yeah. I've installed that special pack, special PS modification of the game, which includes cars from all the regions. So there are 4 muscle cars, 2 American, 2 Australian. And Skyline, I've had to challenge Skyline, obviously. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, you here are watching at the replay because the actual race took a lot of save states into it. It was a lot of save states in order to get the thing done. Muscle cars can take on these higher classed cars, but it is darn hard. It is darn challenge I need, and perhaps it was a bit more of a challenge that I've bargained for. This particular race, which I'm finishing right now, this was the hardest one. It took me about an hour and a half to actually beat that Porsche 911. And it took me cutting all the corners and actually, you know, well, that was hard all in all. That was really hard. It took me cutting every corner in the perfect, you know, shapes I could, and the traffic in this game, it is quite brutal. I mean, it does whatever it wants. It can make a maneuver which will, you know, sideswipe your car. Actually, it will happen to the Ferrari in the next race that will be in this video. And yeah, it happens. It happens all the time. Traffic is obnoxious. It can spawn anywhere, and since it spawns whenever it wants and you cannot predict it, your perfect lines may become compromised and you will have to improvise, like through the turn. You will have to come with the improvisation really quick, and sometimes it is simply impossible to avoid the collision. So yeah, save states is a given. So what else can I say? This race versus Diablo is much easier, namely because this is the track I excel at. This is my favorite track in the whole game, so that Diablo stood no chances. Yeah, muscle cars definitely can't do it. That's like... In fact, in this track I've only used like about 5 save states, and all before that only turn, which is the really hard turn, and you will see that I've had to use it in the next level down there in order to overtake the Diablo. And I've only had to use save states because I've set the race only to 2 laps. Honestly, if I'd set it to say 4 laps, I could took over the Diablo on this track legitimately, but I think the race would have been a drag. I mean, as cool as this game is, it is still a bit too early to become, you know, proper adrenaline-fueled underground games. Most Wanted, you know, proper adrenaline-fueled Need for Speed it became in 2000s. High Stakes is definitely the step towards those iconic and fast games. And still High Stakes for an arcade adrenaline-fueled racing game is way too accurate, way too simulatory, so to say. You know, physics do not quite forgive you, and if you strike traffic in the race with the traffic just one time, if you race on the highest difficulties like I do, chances are you'll lose all the race and you will have to restart. Traffic doesn't forgive here. So yeah, this game is hard, make no mistake. I make it look easier perhaps with these replays, but it took me quite some time to actually learn to do it. So, about these races themselves, the very first race versus Porsche 911, it was from Open Road Knockout Challenge. And the other 3 races after the very first one are custom ones, which you know in a single race, menu, single race, which you can pick in menu, single race, duel, and then you just pick the cars wherever you want. So yeah, actually only the first race included the cheat from Tropics XLR. The other 3 races are just your normal customized via in-game menu races. You can do it without cheats. Of course, I play on the highest difficulty, so my opponent here is Nemesis, and he drives really good. No doubt about that. This race, though, he cannot handle the traffic. This race is the only race which I've made save states in and reload them multiple times in order to make Nemesis to actually last on the track at least a bit longer, because traffic here is too much for him. For some reason AI on Dolphin Cove really can't handle the traffic. For whatever reason. So yeah, I had to have some, you know, mercy on him. But other than that, yeah, other than this race, these races are hard. This was probably the easiest one. In fact, if I'd wanted to overtake Nemesis really early on, I could even refuse to use save states at all, because in this race here, Nemesis makes mistakes, a lot of mistakes. And you can overtake him early on. Perhaps it is because of the car he uses. Sometimes I notice it, AI has troubles with particular cars. By the way, here it is! Have you seen what the traffic just did? I hate it when it does to myself this way, when it does such things to me. But since it done this to Nemesis this time, well, alright. Here's a perfect display of how traffic behaves in this game. And well, back on the previous topic, which I forgot what I was talking about. So, oh yeah, particular cars. AI actually have troubles with particular cars in this game for whatever reason. I do not know why, but you know, one thing I've noticed, for example, in the very last special event where you race against reward cars, racing Porsches are much weaker than racing Corvettes when AI drive them. Even though stat-wise Racing Porsche and Racing Corvette are less or more the same car. And yet Racing Corvette, when Nemesis drives Corvette and I try to race against him, well, Nemesis with the Racing Corvette simply murderalized me, and I'm like 10 seconds behind, man, that's crazy. When I use cheats and make Nemesis to use a Porsche 911, that changes things completely. I'm able to place first and with relative ease as well. I'm not sure why, but some particular cars really do not quite work with AI. Just a little quirk I've noticed as I'm finishing my PlayStation walkthrough of this game. I think I will also try it on PC, and probably with lots of modifications, you know. I mean, at the very least, it looks like most of the cars from Need for Speed Motor City Online were converted to high stakes. And Motor City Online is a game which was filled to the brim with filled is the word, yeah, filled to the brim with old school muscle cars. And yeah, muscle cars, especially old school ones, are just the things I like, so I guess I will do just that. I will install all the Motor City Online cars into my high stakes and we'll take a look at how that plays. Yeah. And this way we are drawing close to the very first race of this rather short video. Here we go.
That's your best lap.
So, pardon me. So, fourth race. I'm using Camaro here, and as I've said, I'm going to beat Skyline. And as you could see by looking at the rims of my Camaro, in this race I've actually decided not to install the maneuverability upgrade on my Camaro, because I didn't like how golden discs look on it. Yeah, that's the sole reason. I'm all about the visuals, style over substance and stuff. Either way, I've decided that I will leave my Camaro without maneuverability upgrade, and honestly speaking, that's kind of a huge disadvantage. In this game, every upgrade counts a lot. So yeah, this is why I've chosen this specific race, because this specific race have major shortcut which lets me to actually win this with the Camaro. Other than that, I believe if I've installed the last upgrade on my Camaro, I could caught up with that Skyline much easier. But without maneuverability upgrade, that major shortcut toward the end of the race is my main advantage, something that lets me even the odds, otherwise I'd definitely lose this race. At the very least, I couldn't beat that Skyline on the Dolphin Grove. I'll be fair with you, I couldn't, yeah. Without maneuverability upgrade, it was pretty much impossible. Also, for whatever reason, on this track my Camaro becomes, its steering wheel, as you can see, is on the right side instead as of the left side. Do not know why, but alright, let's just say I use a rare Australian version or something. Whatever. I really wonder why. I mean, so far, maybe it happens on some other tracks, but I've tested it at Landstrasse track and Pontiac Park, I believe, and Camaro spawned, normally there. But on this track, for whatever reason, yeah,
You're just behind.
right-hand drive, driven, right hand, whatever. I'm not sure how to call it properly on English, but you know what I mean. So yeah, last wrap of the fourth race. Once again, kinda sorry I'm showing you the replays instead of actual gameplay, actual races, but as I've said, this game is still quite hard and still quite, simulator-like, so all your turns have to be precise in their curves, and traffic is obnoxious, and the game is hard. To put things short, the game is quite hard, especially on the expert difficulty which I'm playing at. So yeah, these replays are mostly just, showcases of what can be done with muscle cars in high stakes if you are driving them, you know, picture perfect. Muscle cars have the potential to defeat all but the hardest cars in the game, like CLK, GTR, and McLaren, and those prize cars, Phantom and Titan. Also, I'm pretty sure Titan can be defeated because, you know, it has really huge troubles with these curves. It is pretty much unsteerable. It's a tank of a car. So I'm pretty sure that a muscle car with maneuverability upgrade on a track with lots of turns can actually defeat AI-driven Titan. Not sure if I'll... Titan, sorry. Not sure if I'll ever test it, but, you know, just saying. Probably you can even defeat a CLK GTR or McLaren F1 on Dolphin Cove, since Ferrari 550 went down very easily down there. But once again, I'm not sure if I'll ever test that. Other than that, this is it. Thanks for being with me. Stay tuned for more if you like this video. Good luck.
No muscle car would be worth its name without a potent power plant, and the Firebird delivers. Under its sculptured hood sits a 5.7-liter V8, developing a hefty 305 horsepower, enough to give the car lightning acceleration, 0 to 60 in under 6 seconds. High-performance handling is assured with a fully integrated traction control system and hefty 4-wheel disc brakes.